Hello everyone and welcome back to Axonon Gamers. First of all, I just want to thank all of you for all the positive feedback and the overall positive response since I came back to YouTube. It's been so much fun doing all these videos and reading all your comments. Yeah, it's such a good time, and I just also want to make sure that all you guys who do not comment um, know that I'm very happy to have you around. So so thanks a lot for that. But today I want to make a video talking about the Nintendo Switch. It's a console I'm very much looking forward to. I have a lot of opinions, both positive and negative, but my overall impression of the Switch is very positive. And now that I actually had the luck to go and try it out for myself, because I very recently attended a event where I could try out the Switch for myself. I have so much to say about it, so let's get to it. But first, let's look back at when it was first announced, or even earlier. We've seen all these like blueprints, and there was a lot of rumors. And this is a time in video gaming when so many rumors are true. Like most of the rumors you read about is like it feels like 80% of them are true. So we saw this like very weird shaped controller which was supposed to be all touch. That wasn't true, which was very nice. So the thing we actually got was a. It's very similar to the Vita. I want to talk more about the PlayStation Vita in this very video, but yeah, the final product is like this amazing handheld with a big screen. It's a very good screen as well. I'm gonna talk more about it soon too. But you have the face buttons, the double sticks, the shoulder button, two actually. So that's a first, except the new 3DS, I guess. But yeah, it's such a great handheld. But what's so weird to me is that Nintendo themselves really want to make sure that this is seen as their home console, which you can also bring outside. Um, the thing is, the Wii U didn't do so well, so I can see why. And they're making extra sure that we know this by still coming out with new games exclusively for the 3DS. We have multiplats, like the Muso or like the Warriors game with Fire Emblem. What's it called? Fire Emblem Warriors, I guess. Um, that is coming out for both the 3DS and the Switch. But we have the new Fire Emblem game, which is only on the 3DS, and I'm sure we're gonna get more 3DS games as well, just because they don't wanna confuse people. Um, so, so what I'm trying to say here is that, in my opinion, the Switch is like the best handheld ever. It does so many things great when it comes to handheld gaming, and yeah, I can go into detail, but let's see where I want to start. So, just my overall impression seeing it in the launch trailer or like the reveal um, was so amazing because I thought it looked really good as they handled, and then it's always nice to be able to hook it up to the TV if you'd like. Um, like it runs Zelda and all of these like console games, which is so cool because the Vita tried to do the same thing where you could have ports of PS4 games which wouldn't look as nice but still run, and it's so great to see Nintendo do the same thing. Um, so that was I was very excited to hear more about it and see what games would come out for the Switch because it looked so very promising as a handheld, but now as a console, I'm not too sure anymore if it's gonna be like the huge success I was expecting. But we'll see. So far it looks very good, and it felt very good playing as well. So I'm very positive, and I think it's gonna be a huge success. But maybe once the 3DS settles down a bit, this might be even more successful. And if they create like a Switch as it is right now, and then maybe one for a reduced price where they do not include like the feature to hook it up to the TV and like maybe not the removable controls, and it's like just a handheld, that could work. Because all the games are being developed to work both on the handheld and on the TV. So they could definitely do that. A lot of thoughts about it, but um, so what happened recently was that Barisala, or yeah, I don't know what to call them in English, but it's the place um, where they get all the like Nintendo games here in Sweden, and from there they ship it out to all the stores. So they have the Switches right now. And what they did, which was so smart, is instead of going around and showing up the Switch, they invited us to go there where it already is, to check out the system. It was very nice, but since it was like a free event, so many people attended, and we were like pretty much 1,000 people's. Um, 760 or something registered on Facebook, and then I guess like not everybody have Facebook, so at least 1,000 people altogether. Um, but me and my friends were trying to like not be in this very long queue, so we went there early in the morning. We would go there actually 6 in the morning, and they opened up 9, so we would queue for 3 hours in advance, and that was very good to do actually because they the queue was insane. When they started to like when we got in, the queue like estimate time was around like 3 or 4 hours. So so I mean, it was good. We could be one of the first ones, and not wait the for so long afterwards. There was also goodie bags, so that's another reason we wanted to be there in time, and also to try out Zelda, which we unfortunately didn't get to do. So that's too bad. But about the console itself, like trying it out. It was very awesome. So first, the first thing I got to play was Splatoon, and that was, or maybe it was Bomberman actually. But let me talk about Splatoon, Splatoon 2, because for this setup it was for 4 versus 4, so they had like 8 TVs, or if it was like 2 TVs and then 2 switches on each side, so you could play it with the Joy Cons in the handheld mode together with your friends on the TV against other people in both like on the TV and the handheld mode. It's so cool how you could like play it whichever way you wanted. Uh, so that's like a huge plus for LAN parties and tournaments and stuff like that you can just hook it up and play whichever way you really want, like no problem. And I'm sure you could switch from the handle to the console mode whenever you like as well. So that's really really cool actually. Um, the switches though for Splatoon 2 that were connected to the TV, they had the Pro controller, which was why I queued for Splatoon because I really wanted to try the Pro controller. It feels great, I have to say. The Pro controller has like a similar shape at the top like the Xbox One controller. Um, the grips are more similar to the DualShock 4, so it's like the small, like long grips. But the top is so good because it feels like the Xbox One controller with the left bumper, right bumper, and then triggers behind. Um, it's I could do a video entirely talking about controllers later on, because I'm such a sucker for details of how controllers are made. But I play my games like this, so I have one finger each for both the triggers and the bumpers. Um, that worked perfectly with the Pro controller for the Switch. So that was some really great news. It felt very comfortable holding, and like I could reach all the buttons very very well. And then the Pro controller also had like motion built in, so the gyro controls from the original Splatoon worked just as well with a like a regular controller. So that was pretty cool because you play Splatoon on the Wii U gamepad, and it works so well with the gyro. Like gyro is one of my favorite ways to play a game as well. It works so well aiming with your wrists. It adds another level of depth, and I'm very happy to have that feature still in like regular controllers. Like the Pro controller is obviously a bit more expensive and not the regular way to play, but with a like standard or like the classic way a controller looks, to still have the gyro, that was very nice. So we played Splatoon 2. I did great, by the way. The match I tried was like 6 kills, 0 deaths, so I was very happy about that. Um, I really wanted to play more, maybe try it out on the handheld mode Switch, but we had a limited time of 1 hour only in there, so I really wanted to go through the next game and try everything out, because we didn't have a lot of time. So, yeah, the next game, or maybe that was the game before, but I did play Bomberman. Super Bomberman, I believe, is the name of the game. Um, it's Bomberman, so nothing new really. As far as the game goes, it played entirely like most modern Bomberman games. If you play them like the one on the GameCube, and also the one that got released on the Xbox Live, and PSN2, I guess. Um, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. If you never played Bomberman before, I highly recommend you do. It's because it's very fun, especially multiplayer, and that's what we did. We played four people, um, and this was great because we got to try out the Joy Cons, put sideways. So um, throughout the event, I would try like playing the Joy Cons upright, and the Pro controller and all these kinds of controllers. But I'm so happy that I got a chance to play with the Joy-Con sideways, because that's how we played a bunch of Wii games, and I really like the Wii. Um, but the Joy-Cons, they're a bit smaller, so I was afraid it would felt very unnatural, but it didn't. So what I want to say here is that the Wii U gamepad is very like broad, I guess. Um, but you don't care about that when you actually play. So it's something like this. So I mean, if the controller is like this, or it's small like this, like a Joy-Con, it really doesn't matter, because it's more the shape and like how the buttons feel that you care about. So it wasn't anything like different from playing on an old Game Boy, like say the Game Boy Color or maybe a Game Boy Advance SP. So it's not very cramped. It's just small and it works. It works very well. Um, the L and R buttons though, because on this Joy-Con I played Bomberman with, they had the strap add-on, which gives it new L and R buttons, which are supposed to be a lot better. Those did not feel very nice. Unfortunately, they were very like unresponsive. Not in terms of gameplay, but in terms of feel. So you wouldn't feel like you pressed it all the way down. Um, and the guy there tried to explain to me that it works kind of like the GameCube, where you have you can press it down slightly, and then you can press it down all the way. Um, I didn't get that impression like trying it. So we'll see more when I get the Switch myself. But as far as the L and R buttons on the like the added strip plastic thingy you add on top of the Joy-Con, not a fan. So he actually removed that piece just for me, because I said like, can I just try and feel it without the add-on, and it did not feel much better. You removed the whole idea of like pressing it down halfway before going to the click, so you would get the click right away, but it was still pretty unresponsive, unfortunately. The good thing though is that um, you're never gonna play it like that. Like if you're into like RPGs and single player games like I am, and I know most of you are, uh, you should not be like have to worry about that playing on the Joy-Con sideways like ever. So um, just take that with a grain of salt. Just wanted to put it out there for you guys who actually do care. Um, the L&R buttons were not very good, but the other buttons were nice. The stick feels very much like the Wii U. So if you played it on the GameCube and then moved over to the Wii, you know the nunchuck on the Wii has a very like plastic feel to the joystick. It doesn't feel as good as the GameCube. But the Wii U really does, and this one does as well. So the stick is very nice, and the buttons, uh, yeah, they're pretty much like, let's see what I can compare that to. They feel like the Dreamcast buttons, but I guess they're similar to like most other controllers out there right now. The buttons are nothing special, but yeah. So where do we go from here? So I tried the Pro controller and the Joy-Con sideways. Next game was actually Arms, and Arms was a very nice game. Um, like most definitely, it was the game itself played like uh, Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm, because it's a third-person fighting game, and yeah, I guess that's the best game I can compare it to. But you see behind the character, and from there you can jump, block, and you can dash. You can dash in any direction actually. Um, First, I just thought it was like a forward, back, and left and right, but you can actually like dash in any way you like, and in air as well. So it's a pretty nice fighting game. Um, because you attack like your opponent, and then you can jump to avoid attacks. And even if they predict that and wait with their attacks until you jump, even in your jump you can dash. So it's pretty smart. Um, it was a very nice game to play. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get it right away or if I'm gonna play it a lot if I do, but just putting it out there that Arms was actually very nice. Uh, but back to the controller. So Arms we played with two Joy Cons upright, but not like the Wii remote and nunchuck. It was actually sideways. So how can I explain this? See, the L and R buttons on the Joy Cons, they go down just like the 2DS. They go down on the side. So we would like hold the Joy-Con tilted. So we had the left and right buttons to our thumbs. Very cool actually how it felt so natural to hold both ways. So I guess you can play like the Wii and have both Joy-Cons with the sticks, like the normal way. But Arms was played like tilted, but still upright. So you would press the L and R buttons to do everything, um, like the guarding and stuff. Yeah, you blocked using those two, but it was nice. I got the sense of like how good the motion controls actually were because they were super responsive. This is a game where you attack a lot, like you do a lot of small hits, so you have to like kind of mash using the motion controls, and it works perfectly. The grab in the game you do by pushing both forward at the same time, and it was super responsive. Like I didn't miss any grab. Um, and you dash like moving them back and forth, and that worked super well too. So Arms very good, and the Joy Cons like except for the buttons, like I mentioned when I talked about Bomberman, the Joy Cons are amazing as well. So I'm very happy with the Switch so far as a console, I guess, because the controllers are so good. So if you hook it up to the TV, at least you have a very nice bunch of controller options to choose from. So I'm very happy about that. But the next game would actually be Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is basically Mario Kart 8 but ported to the Switch. Um, you could play as the Splatoon characters, so that was nice, which I did. But this game we played in the handheld mode of the Switch, so I was very excited because that's how I want to experience the Switch. I made all these jokes in social media how I like kind of want to get rid of my docking station for the Switch to save money because I really want to play it handled, but I'm probably gonna keep it, so don't you worry. But yeah, it's so happy to play it in the handheld mode finally, and this is when I want to talk about the screen. The screen is so good. I've had a lot of problems like comparing different screens. We have the PSP 1000, 2000, 3000. We have the PSP Go, then the DS. DS Lite and DSi have different screens. Even the 3DS XL, like the new 3DS XL, and other new 3DS XLs, like the same model, can have different screens as well. So I always look at my screens on my handles, like the different viewing angles and the brightness levels and everything. This screen, I'm happy to say, is the best screen I've seen on a handle. It it really blew me away actually. Since I'm so very into screens, especially on handhelds, I'm happy to say that this is the best. It's even better than, or like from the 10 minutes I got to play with it in that very room. Like of course you have to take in advance all this like the sunlight and the indoor like lighting, but that screen was even better than the OLED Vita screen, which I'm not as huge of a fan of anymore. But you know, most of you guys think that looks amazing, and I do too. But this one was like next level stuff. And it's so big as well, so like you can see all the detail and appreciate the how good the screen is when it's that big, even more so. So very nice stuff. The gameplay is great as well. Like I couldn't see um, any decreasing graphics from the Wii U. I might even think like it looked even better. So amazing actually to play like a console game from this very generation on on a handheld. So that was amazing. Hopefully it holds up just as well on the big screen, because I don't know how they're gonna like convert the image from a handheld to the big screen. But I'm positive this is gonna be great. What's not so great is that these games that I tried, they're basically it. Like except these games, there are not a lot more games coming out on launch, and Splatoon and Arms too, I believe. Arms isn't gonna come out for the launch day as well, so we'll see what happens with the launch and how long we have to wait before we actually get games for for the Switch. But as a device, like all the functions and everything, it works very well, and I'm super happy about it. Um, so I don't think I missed anything. I could talk about like the battery life and everything. It's so funny how people complain about like actually having 3 hours of gameplay outside. I don't know how for how long you play games on your like train rides and stuff, and when you're at cafes and things where I actually play my 3DS and the Vita. But 3 hours, like really, that is more than enough. And if you need more time, you can just hook it up to a power bank. So stay positive, guys. Really, it's nothing to complain about. Really. Um, so yeah, as for the event, I guess that's it. I also want to talk about Zelda Breath of the Wild quickly, because it was funny at the event how I did not get to play the game, but I get to talk to. I actually got to talk to like the people who held the event and who were responsible for like the Zelda um, part of the event. It was funny because I just wanted to ask them questions, because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna play the game on the Wii U, how it was like meant to be. It's how I wanted to play it for all these years, so it feels very weird for me to just jump over this to the Switch because it has a available version as well. But so I asked them, and I told them directly that I am going to buy the Switch. I am going to buy Zelda for the Switch as well. So I just wanted to make sure that they knew that they were like not gonna lose me as a customer or anything. But I asked them like, what's the difference between the Wii U and the Switch version? Uh, and I believe I asked them as well, like, is the Wii U version superior in any way? Um, and it was so funny because they would all smile, and they would not like answer any of my questions, but they would like, I could see at their face expressions what they actually meant, and it seems like the Wii U might be the way to go, but by their faces and what they actually said, uh, it feels that way. But what they did say, because they avoided my question by naming what actually was better on the Switch, uh, by saying like, oh, but you can bring the Switch version on the go. And I mean that's not a very good answer, because if they were to convince me, they should have mentioned like graphics or actual stuff that matters. But when I ask like the differences are, and the only thing they can come up with is that like the handheld version is portable. Like, are you kidding me? That's obvious, right? So so I would joke about that, and they would say, "Oh, but the sound is better on the Switch as well." And I'm like, "Okay, so so the sound is better." But I guess that's it. And to wrap it all up, one of the guys actually said to me that, like, the game is made for the Wii U. End of story. And so we would agree and move on. But just want to get that out there. I believe the Switch version is going to run perfectly fine, and it's going to be like the full game on a handheld, which is amazing because it's an open world game. But for all you Wii U users out there, you can rest easy because it seems very like possible that the Wii U might not just be a good alternative, but maybe even the way to go. Um, just to let you know. But moving back to the Switch, uh, I don't think there's a lot more for me to say right now. I will get back to it eventually when I pick it up and when I get to play it at home. But for now, I just want to say that uh, my experience with games like Odin Sphere and Trails of Cold Steel on the Vita, because I want to show you guys, I have the Vita TV, which is basically a Vita without a screen. So you hook this up with the HDMI port. Maybe you can see here. You have the HDMI and the power cord and everything on the back, and the USB as well. So if I like, here's my Vita, right? So this is pretty much what the Switch is gonna be. You have the screen, you have two sticks, the buttons, and the shoulder buttons. So I mean, it's not very different really, because what you do here is you take out the memory card and the game card, put it into this one, and it runs on the TV. You get to keep the same account, the same save files and everything, DLC even, everything really. You just continue on the TV. And I've done that, like I said, with games like Odin Sphere and Trails of Cold Steel. Those are the two most recent games I played using this. But it's so nice how I can continue to play my handheld games, which is my preferred way of playing video games, on the TV if I like to. And that's something I always liked very much with the Vita, which I could never do with the 3DS. Um, so a huge plus, and I believe that's the way I am going to play the Switch, like on the handheld mostly, and whenever I feel like I can't get up to my TV. Uh, so very promising. I just hope that most games get released on it as well, because seeing the launch trailer back in the day, or like back a few months ago when it was announced, uh, I would start thinking about how like we would get the Bravely series and Fire Emblem and Yokai Watch as well, I guess. But all Pokemon, all these franchises that were in the 3DS that made it so good on the Switch instead. But it seems like the 3DS is gonna stick around for a while, so maybe in a few years we'll have all those great series on the go and also on the TV, and that's perfect. Like that's how I want gaming to advance. All the great games I play on the PS4, if those could if I could bring those on the go without caring about like internet connection or silly stuff like that using the remote play, I can do that already. But it's a bit more complicated. The Switch is gonna be so good, and the move to the cartridges is also very nice. People have been complaining about the hard drive space in the Switch, and they say like it should have a 500 gig hard drive. But the thing is, when the games are on the cartridge, they don't need to install because they are already installed on the cartridge. It's not a disc that has to spin, so it reads them very fast, and the games are already done. So as far as DLC and stuff, of course you can put a memory card into the Switch, but I'm probably gonna go with 64 gigs or maybe 128 if I feel like doing that. But 32 gigs should be enough, really. So just think about that for a second. That maybe the Wii U with the Blu-ray discs could have used a bigger hard drive, but now that we have cartridges, we should be fine, really. So that's just another good thing about the Switch. I probably forgot something, but that's alright. I'll be back soon enough, so thank you everyone for watching, and until next time, get gaming.